Jim and Fran here.
Morning.
We are running Turkey Creek, which is near Black Canyon City, north of Phoenix. This is going to be a rugged Arizona adventure. Turkey Creek is about 10 and a half miles, rated difficult by the rating agencies. Beautiful trail from what I've seen on some other videos. None of them will be as good as this one, but in any event, they do try. We're here during the week. We don't anticipate seeing very many people, if anyone. We're starting a little bit after sunrise. It's November. The only thing probably missing from this trail will be you have many creek crossings. They'll probably all be dry. We haven't had much rain, although we did have some a week or so ago. And one thing I'm noticing is that it appears to make the trail a little more grippy because it's compacted some of the dirt. So that's good. We anticipate having a great time here, and we're going to bring you, I think, a nice adventure that you can decide for yourself if this is a trail you want to run. We are running it, as we almost always do, by ourselves. So we're solely responsible for what happens, and if we have trouble, we have to figure it out ourselves. And when we come to figuring out lines, it's up to the two of us. So in any event, come along because we are beginning right now.
Come on.
Shortly after beginning Turkey Creek Trail, you come to a junction. You can either go left or right. Left is the harder way down to the creek bed. Right is the easier way. We chose left, the harder way, and pretty quickly we found ourselves rolling about 26% and pitching forward about 10%, which definitely got me into my pucker zone. It was due to a lack of attention and a little bit of complacency to get started, which is not really a good excuse. We were able to get out of that situation and proceed down to the creek bed without incident. This is the final descent, a lot easier than the upper descent that we had a little issue with. The creek bed was dry due to lack of rain in the area. After you climb out of the creek bed, you get up very high. I'm not sure whether it's the highest point of the trail or not. The end might be just as high, but the last couple of miles of this trail are a graded dirt road and really kind of boring. This was anything but boring. You got panoramic mountain views. You had long vistas in every direction. The trail was not that difficult, but it was fun. As you can see, it was rutted. You had a few little climbs. The Jeep in certain spots is rocking and rolling because of the uneven terrain. This was just fun. And it was also fun to fly the drone here because I didn't have to worry about running into anything at all, unlike certain spots which you'll see later where the drone had to navigate around some things. So this was just fun and beautiful. This section of the trail is essentially the same section that I photographed with the drone before. It gives you a good idea of what you're traveling on, what the terrain looks like. It is fairly steep here. I think it was about 7 or 8%, which you can see you are going uphill. It really wasn't very difficult at all. I tend to take things slowly, in part because Fran and I are out by ourselves, and although we are fairly mechanical, I'm trying not to break anything, and where we might have to get rescued. This is where you descend into the canyon, and it is an absolutely beautiful shelf road. The upper part is off camber, so you will tip toward the drop-off. You just have to be careful. I was kind of hugging the right side, which was the right thing to do. As you travel down, you will see mine tailings, and this is the Howard copper mine, which you could explore quite a bit We didn't have the time to do that, although we did go, or I did go into Mine Shaft, which is right after the descent.
All right, we're heading in. What's this, I wonder? Wonder what they use this for. Wow, looks neat. Okay. Always look for snakes and other things when you're in a mine. So I brought a flashlight. Oh, what do we have here? Wow. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Wow. I can stand up comfortably in here. Mines that I've been in before, I've never been able to stand up like this. This is really comfortable. If you want a really neat mine, take a look at our Joshua Tree Brooklyn Mine video. I think it's under Brooklyn Mine. That was a neat mine. We've also got some nice video of that area. And there we got way off the beaten path. That was in Joshua, or outside Joshua Tree. Okay. So I don't know what this is or was. All right. Well, this is the end of the mine. So I've come to the end. Okay. So not very deep, or not very long. Well, if you do this trail, you should think about going in this mine. It's not scary at all. And it's also really not claustrophobic if you are claustrophobic. This mine really isn't a problem, I think, for people who are claustrophobic. All right, so that's really it. All right, we're going to resume the trail. We have arrived at the most difficult obstacle on this trail. We're at about 4.3 miles. There is a bypass, not sure how you get it, and the creek is dry, so if you want to do the bypass, you can. So as I understand from watching videos, is you basically hug the rock wall, and then you have a drop down there to the right, and that's the tricky part. Yeah, it seems to be fairly built up. You're going to have a heck of a roll, and then, yeah, okay, so you're going to come this way, and then you got a little bit of action over here, and you got more there. So this is going to be a little tricky, but I think we're going to give it a try. I'm rolling.
I gotcha.
All right, rolling toward the obstacle. I am a little bit nervous because there is a steep drop down, but I have watched a number of vehicles that are not as capable as this one, although maybe they have more capable drivers. So we're just going to give it a try. So the secret is to hug the rock wall. which is what I intend to do. Well, I can't quite see the rock wall. All right. All right. Yep, I can see it now.
You've got room on your driver's side. You're going to have to turn the wheel to the driver. Do you see it? There.
I'm real close right here, so I can't turn anymore.
Not moving. Okay, let's go a little bit.
I am right on this wall.
The passenger is going to drop.
All right.
Stay as tight to the wall as you can.
Well, I'd say I'm committed now.
You're doing good. Okay. Your rear is going to come down. You can go driver. 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 You're down. Hold it. I'm moving. Okay, your driver rear is going to roll on the wall. You look good.
Well, if it rolls on the wall, that means it's going to tip me to the right. Keep that in mind. It'll tip it to the right, which is not what I want to do. Take your time. Can I go to the right a little bit or not?
Okay, to the right.
Because if I get up on that wall, which I can, it'll tip it, it'll roll me more to the right. All right, how's this? How am I doing? Can I go to the right at all?
You're coming down.
Fran, as usual, did a great job of spotting me. Of course, she knew that if I tumbled into the riverbed, she had no way to get home. That was probably part of it as well. Thanks, Fran. We are done with the difficult obstacle. Fran did a great job spotting. Thank you. If you follow the rock wall closely, it's really not that difficult. Maybe the roll got to 20% and the pitch wasn't terrible. One thing I think you got to be careful about, particularly if you're aired down, which you should be on this trail, you can actually get up on that rock wall with your tires because it's not that steep at the base, and that'll tip you more to the right. You know, you'll roll more. We just finished crossing the creek, which was dry, unfortunately. And now I just got out because one of my roof mounted cameras would be caught by that branch right there. Oh. So I had to take it off.
Low hanging.
Yeah, it's very low hanging. And then you have this little climb right here. Yeah. Oh, and you got to be a little careful on your left.
Yes.
Because it does fall away. All right, so I'm kind of feeling my way here because I don't have the front camera on. All right, thank you.
You're going into the wall.
All right.
Good. Okay, you missed it.
Okay. Go straight.
If you like rocks, we can assure you, you'll like this trail. As we made our way out of the canyon and started climbing, we encountered another rock garden in a creek crossing. There were multiple lines here. The lines to the left and to the middle were definitely harder. I took the line to the right. Sometimes when we're out by ourselves, we do take the easier lines. Why? Because we're out by ourselves. At this point, I put up the drone and I was having a little difficulty controlling it. The wind had picked up quite a bit. This now was single track, so it was narrow and the wind was buffeting the drone quite a bit. I was able, I think, to get some decent shots. At one point, and you'll see coming up, where we're obscured by the vehicle's obscured by a bush. I ended up rolling about 22 or 23%. I'm not quite sure how I ended up doing that. I had to stop and recalibrate a bit. It wasn't dangerous at all. It was just kind of a little bit of inattentiveness on my part. In any event, this was a really pretty part of the canyon. One thing I was happy about is that we didn't encounter any vehicles coming the other way because there really wasn't a lot of room to pass. There were a couple places you could have pulled over if you needed to, but it was pretty tight. And again, it was just really quite a bit of fun. Although this trail is point to point, it's about 10.5 miles long. It took us 5 or so hours to run it, and we do spend extra time, the drones and the action cameras, and we just like to take our time and enjoy the scenery. It felt like we ended kind of where we began. In other words, we're up high, very pretty views of the Bradshaw Mountains. But this road was a little bit different in the sense that it was not lightly traveled. We did see some traffic on this road. It's much busier than in the beginning when we shot the first drone shot up high. It goes down into Cleator. That's where it ends. But it was still a nice way to end. We appreciate it. We just enjoyed this trail so much.
We're done.
Done.
Turkey Creek, we ran it south to north, which was great in the morning because the sun was either at our side or at our back.
Yeah.
We now are in Cleator, Arizona, home of the Cleator Yacht Club. Not a lot of water here to sail. It's an Arizona original town. We love the trail, 10.5 miles. Difficult in some spots, particularly actually in the beginning. I found that to be the most difficult part. Had a little route finding that we had to do because we on our own, and it was just fun. It was a rugged adventure, and we enjoyed ourselves greatly. Anything to add?
I think it was fun. Yeah. There were a number of challenging spots, I would say.
But
But
if you're
the challenges are good.
yeah, and if you're careful, you shouldn't have too much of a
No.
problem.
Yeah.
So this
Go
one's
out
in.
and do it.
Go out and do it. This one's in the book. We'll see you for the next one.